Hi quilters, I'm Pam Heller, AccuQuilt's cutting expert.
And I'm Erica, corporate marketing specialist. We're here today to show you how to put together our adorable Go Brew Crew table topper.
It's so cute.
So cute. Now this project features our limited edition Go Coffee and Tea die. I love this die. The shapes would be so hard to cut by hand, Pam.
Oh, absolutely, Erica. Now, we're also going to be using the Go Cube Mix and Match 10-inch block.
Yes.
And the Go Cube Companion Set angles, some strips for the borders, and the Go Queen of Hearts die. Now, because we're using that 10-inch cube, you need to use either your Go or your Go Big to cut this project.
Great point. This table topper is so cute.
It's darling.
My family, at least, is pretty much fueled by coffee.
Yeah.
So I can see making a few of these in my future, especially one for my own quilt rack.
Oh, it's darling. Well, as you know, I'm a decaf girl myself, but there's certainly no caffeine necessary to make one of these projects. Now, appliquing those mugs and cups has become simple for you by using that free embroidery download at AccuQuilt.com. You can also download the free pattern at AccuQuilt.com.
All right, Pam, let's get started.
Let's do.
Now, as you mentioned, we're using our 10-inch cube and companion.
Correct.
So we're going to need shapes 4 and 5 out of our mix and match,
Correct.
and then the trapezoid out of our companion.
Excellent. So you know, shape 5 is my favorite. You can use it with so many other dies. It is the smaller half square triangle.
Wait, I have it right here.
Okay. All right, so look at how cute this is. Remember, quilters, the shapes are the same in every cube. They're just different sizes.
Right.
The beauty of working with a cube is knowing that all the shapes are going to work together without having to stop to do the math.
So first off, we're going to cut with our quarter square triangle. Now this is shape number 4.
Yes.
And to prep your fabric, just like with any of our dies, measure 1/4 of an inch over all the way around, cut a width of fabric strip, and then go ahead and fan fold across. And of course, as always, we can cut up to 6 layers.
Right. All right, here's your first pro tip of the day. You want to put right sides together, so as we sew them together, you're going to cut together and it's going to save so much more time. Now you're going to need 8 of each of the colors in orange and teal.
Right.
So I'd put the oranges together like this and the teals together like that.
Perfect.
All right.
10 by 10 mat?
Yes.
All right.
You want me to cut that for you?
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Okay. So Pam's going to cut those quarter square triangles for us.
Look
Perfect.
how fast.
Look at that.
Okay.
Now, there we go. So then we'd cut our smaller triangles just like this.
Yes.
Fan fold would be fine. We're going to cut our number 5 triangles, and then we'd cut our trapezoids.
Right. And we've already pre-cut our trapezoids for us here today.
So we're all ready. I'm going to get this out of the way.
Perfect.
Last but not least, like you said, we've got our trapezoids there and we've got our quarter square triangles. Now, because we put our right sides together, we're ready to sew, right?
Yes, we can totally chain piece.
Okay. So the key is, and I know you have a good chain piecing project,
I do.
but the key when you're doing that is that you want to be sure you're sewing the right part of your quarter square triangle together. And I'm going to sew a couple while you explain that,
Right.
Pam.
So sometimes quilters, they get in their quilting head that they're going to sew together on the long sides. So basically what they're doing is taking quarter square triangles and sewing them together and making half square triangles. But AccuQuilt did all the math for you. See, we cut off the dog ears, added that 1/4 inch seam. So when you're doing quarter square triangles, you want to sew on that short end first, then we're going to press it open, and then we're going to sew it together again.
Right. And you can see this would be a quick chain piecing project for sure.
Oh, you could totally do it in a weekend.
Absolutely.
Right? Now, you just need a total of 16 blocks. And with the dies to cut, you're going to be done in no time.
Oh, yes.
Okay. All right. So shall we press our seams open?
Yeah.
Or press
Yes,
them
we're
to
going
one
to go
side?
ahead and press them open. It's going to give you a lot flatter block. You're going to be way more comfortable with your result.
Oh, yeah. There we go. There's the first one.
That's the first one. Now the next step that we do would be to go ahead and sew that shape 5, the small triangle, onto the smaller side of the trapezoid.
There you go.
Covered it up here.
Okay.
And with the dog ears, again, those dog-eared corners are going to fit together just perfectly. I'm going to sew this one so we can show it off.
And look how fast that is. So not only have we given you dog ears for the triangles, but also for that trapezoid as well.
I love it.
So all of those pieces are going to go together so
And
beautifully.
it makes such a difference. And you can tell you've got it lined up because, again, that dog-eared corner is going to make it perfect. I'm going to get those threads out of our way. Basically, what we're doing is we're making our 2 halves of the 1 block unit over
Correct.
here. And then once you've got those sewn together, you're going to put 4 of those together.
Okay. And I always like to lay my blocks out to make sure that I'm sewing them correctly.
Always a good idea.
Always a good idea.
Always a good idea.
So I'm going to let you sew this real quick.
Yes, and you can show the ones that are already sewn together over there.
Okay, so here's our little step outs for this. So you can see here's that smaller shape 5 and the trapezoid shape, and there's our quarter square triangles. And then this right here is one of the blocks that you're going to sew together. Now you'll notice, quilters, that we sew these on point when we sew them together. So keep that in mind when you're doing and following the directions. Now,
Perfect.
Erica, normally I would tell our quilters to applique your block before you put it together.
Yes.
But in this project, you'll want to put the entire top together, stitch it all together before you add the applique shapes, because some of the shapes overlap more than 1 block.
That's right. And you can see that we've got that overlap right there in the center especially. So once you've got them together, you'll go ahead, you'll sew those blocks into rows and then sew the rows together so that you're ready to applique. Now we already cut out, you can see the little hearts. Those again came from the Queen of Hearts die.
Correct.
So we had those ready to go. Now, when you look at those cups, you'll notice that they're facing different directions. So let's take a look at the die.
Okay, so this is our cute little teacup and coffee die. So you can see right here's the teacup. So if you want the teacups going the same direction, you're just going to put all the fabric the same direction.
Right.
If you want them going different directions, you can fan fold, or you can put 1 layer up and 1 layer facing
Perfect.
down and so forth.
Perfect.
Now remember, you can cut up to 4 layers of prefused fabric. So really for this project, you're only going to need to make 1 pass through the cutter for all of the shapes.
That's amazing.
Okay.
That's amazing. Okay, so you want to cut a couple?
Yeah, and you want to talk about the shapes on the die?
Oh, I love the shapes on the die. They're so complicated. We've got one that we cut. Look at that little scallop. It'll
Isn't that
show up
cute?
really well here. Look, it's so, I would not want to cut that by hand, Pam.
No,
I would not. I absolutely would not. So I just love that. And again, once we get that done, we'd go ahead and be ready to tear off our paper, pull off our paper off the back, be ready to applique that on.
Yes. Okay. All right, give it a little love. Slide that mat don't left.
There we go.
And here are all of your shapes that you need for your coffee cup.
Oh my gosh,
That
love
is
it.
so fun. And you could make it totally scrappy. You could make all your coffee cups different.
You could. They could be matching, they could be scrappy.
Yeah. All right, quilters, remember we have a free download embroidery file for all of these shapes. You can find it at accuquilt.com.
Right.
We have 3 stitches to choose from: a satin stitch, a blanket stitch, or a motif stitch.
That's right. And if you don't have an embroidery machine, don't worry. You can go around those shapes with any decorative stitch. You could do raw edge applique.
Yes.
That's what our quilter did when they did this.
Yes.
Or you could just fuse it down and quilt over the top. It's really up to you.
Oh, it's amazing. Follow the pattern instructions for placement of those applique shapes. Then all you need to do to finish the top off is to add your borders. Once you've added your borders, lay it on top of your backing and batting, based and quilt as desired.
That's right. Then finish it off with the binding method of your choice and be sure to miter those corners.
Always.
And you're done. We know you'll enjoy making this project as much as we did. We had so much fun with our coffee and tea medley die because at AccuQuilt, we want to help you cut time
So you can quilt more.